All right, guys. I went just 1-4 in my personal bets on my website yesterday. Another losing day. I've been getting absolutely cleaned out over the past month or so. Now, I know a lot of you guys are supportive, and you do go in the comments section and say, hey, you'll bounce back. It's been a tough spot. But I really got to do a better job than this, guys. Not only just for my personal betting. I mean, I'm at, zeros, in one of my betting accounts, my betting apps. And I just got to do a better job. Like, if I keep losing games, like, I'm not going to get many people signing up on Patreon, right? Like, nobody wants to pay for that. And if we keep losing on Patreon, well, I'm not going to be able to do this for a living and continue to produce videos for you guys. So I know it doesn't seem that serious, but it is. Like, if we keep losing like this, like, I am going to lose my business. And if I lose my business, you're not going to see me every day. I'm not going to be able to, I can't make videos for free. Like, YouTube keeps demonetizing me because my competitors keep reporting me, and they keep demonetizing me. So I'm not making any money on these videos right now. So if I'm losing games and not making money on Patreon, I got no way to pay my bills. So nobody's fault. It's mine. I got to win games. Once again, 1-4 yesterday on my personal bets. Reds lost. Teaser lost. Rangers game 2 lost. Under in the Guardians game did not cash. But hey, I mean, if we want to look at a positive, there's not many out there, but I did manage to win a plus money play with the Rangers in game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday. I guess a nice little rebate on a horrible losing day. If for some reason you want to see who I'm betting on today, you're nuts. I don't know why you would want to do that. But the link for my website is in the description section below. If you sign up for a membership, I greatly appreciate it. I don't think it's very useful right now if you're betting my plays. To be honest with you, the only plays I'm giving out worth a damn have been my NFL tier package bets. I went 2-1 in week 1, and I'm actually 10-4 in my last 14 in that package, dating back to last season. So we can win a few games in the NFL. As far as everything else is concerned, I'm just horrible. I'm horrible at this right now. I don't know how else to put it. I suck at this right now. The worst in the business right now. I am. It's me. But anyway, if you want to see who I'm betting in NFL Week 2, those bets are posted. I'll also include a link in the description section below for my NFL tier package bets. Tell you what, not feeling great, guys. I'm feeling like a big frickin' loser. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into some free content. Pirates Reds 12:35 East. That's game 1 of a doubleheader. Cincinnati's minus 135, total 7. Reinel Espinal for Cincinnati. Johan Oviedo for Pittsburgh. Now, Oviedo's looked pretty good in limited action this season. The righty's got a 3.20 ERA, and he averages over a strikeout an inning. Now, the Buccos also got the W in 2 out of their last 4 ball games, and they averaged nearly 6 runs a game during that time frame. Brian Reynolds, he's leading the team in homers and runs batted in. The outfielder actually has 22 homers on this season. Now they're taking on Reinel Espinal, who's a 30-year-old minor leaguer who was horrible in AAA this year. He's got a 5.63 ERA through 102-plus innings in the minors. A lot of strikeouts for the guy, but he certainly gives up plenty of runs. And the Reds pitching staff as a whole, they've been pretty horrible this year. They're like my personal bets. They're like my picks. They're terrible. They're allowing nearly 5.5 runs per contest, and they're in the bottom 3 in OPS. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Cincinnati's last 4 games at the Great American Ballpark got over the number. As a matter of fact, the Reds are 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to lean toward Pittsburgh plus 1.5, and the over 7 in game 1. Next matchup, Rays Blue Jays game 1. And that's going to be a 1:07 Eastern first pitch. Toronto's minus 140, totals 8 runs. Alek Manoah for Toronto. Jeffrey Springs for Tampa Bay. Now, Springs is having one heck of a year for the Rays. He's got a 2.54 ERA and a 1.10 whip. Now, Springs is also in triple digits with regard to strikeouts. He's actually averaging over a strikeout an inning. And speaking of the pitching in this one, the Rays have done a nice job keeping these Toronto hitters at bay. They've held the Jays to just 3.6 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. And speaking of Toronto, they've been horrible cashing in on the run line at home. Out of 26 divisional home games, Toronto's covered the number only 9 times. Of course, that's good for just 34% in that category. And as good as Manoah's been on the bump, well, this Jays pitching staff as a whole, they've been susceptible to the long ball. So if they can get to Toronto's bullpen, we could see some problems. Toronto's in the bottom 10 in home runs allowed. Now, total-wise, the Jays saw unders in 6 out of their last 10. Meanwhile, Tampa went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. Give me the Rays plus 1.5, under 8. Next ball game, Angels Guardians, 6:10 p.m. East. Cleveland's minus 135, totals 8 runs. Cody Morris for Cleveland, Jose Suarez for Los Angeles. Now, Suarez has an ERA in the 3s, and he averages just about a strikeout an inning. And when it comes to cashing in on the run line, the Angels did cover in 3 out of their last 4 road games. Shohei Ohtani has a club-leading 88 RBI at the dish. Now, LA's facing a Cleveland squad who failed to cash in on the run line in their last 4 straight at home. And when it comes to offensive problems, Cleveland's certainly had plenty of those this year. They're in the bottom 10 in runs per contest, and they're second to last in homers. Now, total-wise, Cody Morris saw both of his starts this season fall under the number. The Guardians also averaged just 3.8 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with LA. And speaking of the Angels, they saw unders in 6 out of those 10 head-to-head meetings I just mentioned. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Give me the Angels plus 1.5, under 8. Next matchup, Pirates-Reds Game 2, 6:40 p.m. East. Now, Game 2 is off the board. Looks like Luis Ortiz making his debut for Pittsburgh. Luis Cessa for the Reds. Now, Luis 3-2 on the year with a good amount of strikeouts. And even though we faded the Reds in Game 1, they have done a nice job shutting down Pittsburgh. They've allowed only 2.8 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Pirates. These Reds hitters have also racked up the strikeouts this year. They're actually in the top 10 in the league in strikeouts per 9 on the bump. They're facing a Pirates team who has struggled at the dish all season long. They're hitting only .222 as a team. And they're striking out more times a game than any other club in the National League. Now, they also have Luis Ortiz on the mound here today, who makes his debut. The 23-year-old went just 5-9 in the minor leagues this season with a 4.56 ERA. Could be some problems for him here. I'm actually going to lean toward the Reds winning Game 2 outright for some money line cash. All right, next contest, little NL East action. I'm talking about the Phillies taking on the Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. Now, Miami's minus $1.25 at home, total 7. Sandy Alcantara for Miami, Bailey Falter for Philadelphia. Now, Bailey comes into today's matchup with an ERA in the 4s. The Phils also have a losing record against divisional opponents on the road. Now, they're taking on a Miami squad who won 3 out of their last 6. And they scored 30 total runs during that span. In pitching-wise, Sandy Alcantara is arguably the best in the game right now. He's got a dozen wins on the year with a fairly lackluster team. And he's also got an ERA in the low 2s. Certainly gives these guys opportunities and chances to win ball games. Now, Alcantara's also got 177 strikeouts and a 1.01 whip. When it comes to the total, 8 out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head contests fell under the number. The Marlins also saw 8 out of their last 13 Sandy Alcantara starts stay under the total as well. I'm going to lean toward Miami, minus $1.25, under 7. Next ball game, Astros-Tigers, 6:40 p.m. East. Houston's minus 225, totals 8 runs. Hunter Brown for Houston, Drew Hutchison for Detroit. Now, Hutchie's had a tough year for the Tigers. He's just 2-7 with an ERA in the 4s. Now, the Tigers have also got themselves arguably the worst hitting lineup in baseball. They're dead last in homers, dead last in runs per game. Now, they're taking on a Houston club who won 7 out of their last 10. They played really well on the road. These guys have a .611 win percentage while traveling. Yordan Alvarez, he's third in the bigs right now in OPS at the plate. Meanwhile, Kyle Tucker, he is currently the club leader in runs batted in with 93. Now, when it comes to the total, 3 out of Houston's last 4 on the road fell under the total. They also went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Detroit averaged only 2.2 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Houston. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Astros -1.5 and the under 8 runs in the tight window. Next ball game, it is going to be O's Nats 7:05 East. Baltimore's -160, totals 8.5 runs. Dean Kramer for Baltimore, Corey Abbott for Washington. Now, unfortunately, guys, I can't give this one out for free here today. This game is being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on my website. Like I said, I'm struggling in my personal bets, but I still have to make a living. Still got to, spark some interest in my website. So, can't give this one out for free. But if you do want to see whether I'm betting on the money line, run line, or total in this one, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on patreon.com/BrockPage. And just remember here, guys, if you sign up for that package here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day all the way till October 1st. All right. Sorry, guys. I told you yesterday I had a cigar on Sunday. I was smoking a cigar while watching the 1 o'clock games on my deck Sunday, and man, that thing's still hurting me. I think I'm done with the cigars, which is crazy. I worked in the cigar business for 11 years, and it's no good. It's killing me right now. But anyway, next game, Rays, Blue Jays game 2. That's going to be a 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Now, game 2's off the board. Kevin Herget for Tampa Bay, Mitch White for Toronto. And even though I like the Rays in game 1, I do think Kevin Herget's going to have some problems with this Toronto lineup. Toronto's in the top 3 in team batting average, and they're led by Bo Bichette, who's got a team-best 87 runs batted in. Meanwhile, Vlad Guerrero, he is still the club leader in homers with 27 of them. Now, they're taking on a Tampa team who typically does not hit for power. These guys are in the bottom 10 in home runs, and they have one of the lower team OPS averages in the American League. Now, they also have 31-year-old minor leaguer Kevin Herget making the start, like I mentioned. And even though he's had a real good year in Durham, this Blue Jays lineup, it's not AAA baseball. So I'm going to lean toward the Jays winning game 2 outright for some money line cash. All right, next matchup, Cubs-Mets, 7:10 p.m. East. The New York Mets are the $4 favorite, total 7 runs. Jake DeGrom for New York, Adrian Sampson for Chicago. And even though Sampy's record stinks, he actually does give these guys chances to win. He's got a 3.76 ERA right now. The Cubbies have also held New York to just 3.5 runs a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings. And speaking of the Mets on the other side, they haven't been great covering the 1.5. These guys failed to cash in on the run line in 3 out of their last 4 home games. Meanwhile, offensively, the Mets have been held to 3 runs or less in their last 5 straight losses. One more thing to add here, guys. I know a bunch of you have been watching me for years. When it comes to baseball, if you ever see a price point like this, I think there's so much parity in baseball and so much randomness that I don't think any team warrants a $4 price point. It's just, everybody's playing the same game. You have the element of umpires. There's too much human element to be laying $4. That's a huge number. And even to lay the 1.5 with New York, you're still not getting incredible equity with regard to the run line. So this is a huge number. Really good price point for Chicago to catch the 1.5. They don't even have to win the game. They can just keep it close. So typically when I see prices like this, I always just pound the underdog just out of instinct. I don't have personal action on this game. It's just a lean, but that's kind of just like where I'm coming from. They're all professional athletes. So anyway, total-wise, the Cubs have gone 79% to the under this year in their Adrian Sampson starts. I'm going to lean towards Chicago plus 1.5, keeping this one at least close in the under 7. Next game, little AL East action. I'm talking about the Yankees squaring off against the Red Sox, 7:10 p.m. East. Now, New York's the $1.65 favorite at Fenway. Totals 8.5 runs. Garrett Cole for the Bombers, Nick Pivetta for Boston. And if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line, run line, or total in this one, this game's being featured as my board member tier package bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. And once again, guys, if you sign up for a membership here today, you're going to get access to that membership every single day, all the way until October 1st. Now, the board member tier gives you access to every single bet, every single package, every single day, all the way until the end of September. It's an all-inclusive membership, and the link for that package is in the description section below. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Royals-Twins, 7:40 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus 185, totals 8.5 runs. Joe Ryan for the Twins, Chris Bubich for Kansas City. And out of 111-plus innings, Chris Bubich has only 2 wins for Kansas City. Matter of fact, he's just 2-11 on the year with an ERA in the 5s. Now, the Royals are also winning just 34% of their road games. They're facing Joe Ryan here today, who's got double-digit wins on the year, along with a 1.16 whip. Now, strikeouts are also way up for Ryan. He's got over 120 Ks for the season, and even though the Twins have struggled here recently, they've had little issue scoring on Kansas City. They're averaging over 6 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Royals. They're also led by Luis Arias, who's hitting a team-best .315 at the plate. He was actually leading the entire majors in batting average for a good part of the year. Now, total-wise, Minnesota saw overs in 6 out of their last 10 outings. They also saw their last 3 straight Joe Ryan starts get over the total. I'm going to lean toward Minnesota, minus 185, over 8.5 runs. Next matchup, little NL Central action. I'm talking about the Brewers squaring off against the Cardinals, 7:45 East. Now, St. Louis is minus 220, totals 8 runs. Jordan Montgomery for St. Louis, Matt Bush for Milwaukee. Now, Bush has just a dozen innings of work under his belt, and, well, they haven't been great. He's got a .450 ERA, despite, a handful of strikeouts. Now, the Brewers also have a losing record on the road, and they've been pretty bad with regard to the run line. These guys are covering in just 30% of their divisional road games. They're also facing Jordan Montgomery, who's been perfect in Cardinal red. He's 4-0 with St. Louis this year with a 1.76 ERA. Now, Jordy's also got a whip of just .82. This Cardinal lineup's also one of the best in baseball. They're in the top 3 in OPS, and they're averaging just about 5 runs a game. Paul Goldschmidt, he's in the top 3 in batting average, RBI, and OPS. When it comes to the total in this one, 6 out of the Cards' last 10 outings got over the number. Meanwhile, the Brewers on the other side of things, they went 22-11 to the over against the NL Central on the road. I'm going to lean towards St. Louis, minus 1.5, over 8 runs. Next ball game, it is going to be Athletics at the Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Now, Texas is minus 155, totals 8.5 runs. Cole Reagans for the Rangers, Ken Waldichuk for Oakland. Now, this game's being featured as my extra daily bet on my website here today. So once again, guys, if you want to see whether I'm betting on the money line, run line, or total in this one, there's only one way to find out, and that is to sign up for a membership. It's actually to sign up for my extra daily bet on patreon.com/BrockPage. And that play is only going to cost you just $2.99. And of course, guys, as an added bonus, if you sign up for my extra daily bet, you're also going to get free access to my daily best play every single day, all the way until October 1st as well. Little 2-for-1 deal there. You got to buy the extra daily bet, though. The daily best play comes with the extra daily bet, not vice versa. Got to spend $2.99 to get the two. Anyway, next matchup. It is going to be Rockies, White Sox, 8:10 p.m. East. The Chi Sox are minus 185, totals 8.5. Michael Kopech for Chicago, Chad Kuhl for Colorado. Now, Kuhl's just 6-8 with an ERA in the 5s. The Rockies are also one of the worst road teams in the game. They have a .313 win percentage while traveling, and they're dead last in road scoring. Now, they're taking on a White Sox team who got the W in 7 out of their last 10, and they have little problem getting base runners. As a matter of fact, these guys have the highest team batting average in all of baseball right now. Jose Abreu's hitting a team best .310 at the dish. Meanwhile, Andrew Vaughn's got a club best 68 runs batted in. Now, pitching-wise, when it comes to the hurlers here, this Sox rotation, they've been high in strikeouts, not high on drugs, high in strikeouts. Michael Kopech surpassed the century mark with regard to Ks. He's also got himself a .378 ERA. When it comes to the total, 6 out of Chicago's last 10 outings did get over the line. Meanwhile, Colorado went 7-2 to the over in their last 9 Chad Kuhl starts. I'm going to lean toward the White Sox minus 185, over 8.5 runs. Next matchup, Padres Mariners, 9:40 p.m. East. Now both teams are minus $1.10 with the total at 7.5. Yu Darvish for San Diego, Logan Gilbert for Seattle. Now, the M's got the W in 7 out of their last 10, and they've had some pretty good success with the National League. Seattle's 11-7 right now in their interleague contests. They also have Logan Gilbert on the mound here today, who's been really good. The righty's got a dozen wins on the year, along with an ERA in the low 3s. Now, he's also fanned over 150 batters this year, so strikeouts are definitely up. He's taking on a Padres club on the other side, who actually lost their last 2 straight. They dropped 5 out of their last 8 as well. And in those losses I just mentioned, those 5 losses, the Pods averaged only 2.2 runs a game offensively. And of course, despite how good Yu Darvish has been this year, if the Mariners can get to the bullpen, well, the Pods could be in trouble. San Diego's in the bottom 3 in the league right now in hits allowed per game on the road. Now, when it comes to the total, the Pods did see their last 4 straight away games get over the number. They're also 9-1 to the over in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to lean toward the home team. Give me Seattle minus $1.10, over 7.5 runs. Next game, little NL West action. I'm talking about the Dodgers taking on the D-backs, 9:40 p.m. Eastern first pitch. The LA Dodgers are the $2 favorite, totals 8 runs. Clayton Kershaw for Los Angeles, Merrill Kelly for Arizona. As good as Kelly's been this year, the D-backs really aren't playing all that well as a team. They lost 5 out of their last 6 ball games, and they've had a tough time within their division. The D-backs are winning just 38% of their ball games against the NL West this year. They're also facing a Dodger club who won 7 out of their last 9. And they continue to pound the baseball. They're leading the league right now in scoring and OPS. Freddie Freeman, he leads the league with a .330 batting average. Meanwhile, Mookie Betts, he has a team best 34 home runs. Am I going to be able to turn this TV off? I mean, I guess I don't have to worry about copyright and losing monetization because the trolls already got me demonetized. All right, guys, give me a sec. I got to turn this shit off. There we go. Heck of a time for the battery didn't even run out. Like, I don't know why it didn't turn off. Let me guess, it's going to turn back on now because I pressed it. Anyway, I tell you, when you lose bets, it just really brings you down. when you lose bets consistently for like a month. Anyway, Dodgers, winners of 7 out of their last 9. Continuing to pound the baseball. They're leading the league in scoring and OPS. Freddie Freeman leads the league with a .330 batting average. Meanwhile, Mookie Betts has a team-best 34 home runs. Now, pitching-wise, the Dodgers are limiting their opponents to just 3.2 runs per contest. That's a league best as well. Clayton Kershaw comes into today's start with a .262 ERA and a .97 whip. When it comes to the total, 3 out of LA's last 4 road games did get over the number. They're also 9-1 to the over in their last 10 at any location. I'm going to lean toward the Dodgers, -1.5, over 8 runs. With that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It is going to be Braves-Giants, 9:45 East. Atlanta's -165, total 7.5 runs. Kyle Wright for Atlanta, Jacob Junis for San Francisco. Now, Junis comes into today's ballgame with a losing record on the season. The Giants also dropped 5 out of their last 8. And they've had a tough time scoring runs during that time frame. Their lineup's actually in the bottom 10 in the league right now in team batting average. They're also striking out more times a game at the dish than most clubs in the National League. Now, they're facing Kyle Wright here today, who's been dominant this year. He's got a staggering 17 wins on the season, along with an ERA in the low 3s. And even if Wright struggles, this Atlanta lineup can score with the best of them. They're second in the majors right now in runs per contest, and they're led by Austin Riley, who's third in the bigs in home runs. Now, total-wise, Atlanta saw 4 out of their last 6 road games get over the number. They're also 5-1 to the over in their last 6 Kyle Wright starts. Meanwhile, San Francisco went 6-1 to the over in their last 7 Jake Junis starts themselves. I'm going to lean toward Atlanta, -165, and the over 7.5 runs. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into our quick pick recap. I like Pittsburgh +1.5 over 7 in Game 1. Give me Tampa Bay +1.5 under 8. I like the Angels +1.5 under 8 runs. Give me Cincinnati getting the job done for some money line cash in Game 2. I like the Marlins -1.25 under 7. Give me Houston -1.5 under 8 runs. Now, the Baltimore-Washington pick is the daily best play on my website. Give me Toronto getting the job done for some money line cash in Game 2. I like the Cubs +1.5 under 7. The Yankees-Red Sox pick, that is the board member tier package bet on my website today. I like Minnesota -185 over 8 hook. Give me St. Louis -1.5 over 8 runs. The Oakland-Texas pick is the extra daily bet on my website today. I like the White Sox -185 over 8.5. Seattle -110 over 7.5 runs. LA Dodgers -1.5 over 8. With my next and final free bet for the video, give me Atlanta -165 over 7.5 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. I feel like a little bit bad about, not being all that positive at the beginning of this video. But I am human. I don't like losing. I don't like failure. And I've been a big failure with this handicapping shit over the past month. I've been a failure. I've been awful for you guys. I've got to do a better job. I believe in the product. I believe that my breakdowns are like the most thought through and like best on the internet, or one of them at least. It's a great product. We're just not winning. And I mean, I guess ultimately that's the only thing that matters. I don't know what else to say. I can't win right now. I can't win. So I'm doing my best. I know that's not what you want to hear out of like your handicapper, but I can't help. I'm making good plays. They're just not cashing for 30 days straight. It's pathetic. But I got to thank you guys for sticking with me. Really hope you continue to enjoy this free content. I bust my ass producing it for you. I'm busting my ass to lose games, I guess, but I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscribes. So anyway, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I do look forward to seeing you on my website. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a week. But eventually, once we start getting hot and turn this thing around, I do look forward to seeing you on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.